LookCatchu here, and how was your week? Sounds wonderful. My week was okay. Here's a scenario. You run downstairs to your kitchen after a long, hard day of binge watching LookCatchu videos, and you're craving chocolate cake so badly. You're like, oh, I need my chocolate cake. And oh no, your worst nightmare just happened. You don't have the basic ingredients to make a cake. You have no eggs, no milk, or butter. Ah, what do we do? But then you get a notification pop up on your phone saying, LookCatchu posted a cake that requires none of those ingredients. And I come to save the day, and you get your chocolate cake. And as I've mentioned, this recipe, which is inspired by King Arthur baking, is basically vegan. But even before modern day veganism, there was the Great Depression era, which lasted a decade from 1929 to 1939. And during this era, a big economic recession brought financial hardship and hunger to millions across the world. So people had to be a little creative when it comes to the limited access of eggs, butter, and milk. They had to dig through their cabinets and make what they could with what they had. And thus, Crazy Cake, also known as the Great Depression cake, was born. And it's pretty easy to make. So let's get chocolate caking. In a large bowl, I'm gonna combine all the dry ingredients, such as flour, and then some granulated sugar, pop a little cocoa powder. I'm using a generic brand because I don't know about you, but I really can't taste the difference. And finally, a little baking soda, not powder, and salt. Then we're gonna do a little whiskey whisk. We're gonna do a little whiskey whisk. Now, some people like to mix the cake batter directly into the cake pan, but to me, it's more of a hassle to stir because it's such a shallow pan. It'll just spill everywhere, but you do you. After the dry ingredients have meshed together, I'm pouring some vegetable oil and then some white vinegar, a splash of vanilla extract, and a nice tall glass of cold water. Give it a little mixy mix, making sure not to overmix the batter. Now, I'd like to think that the reason some call this cake crazy is because of the vinegar. But also, the elimination of eggs, milk, and butter is pretty crazy too. But LookCatchu, why are we adding white vinegar to cake? Well, taking it back to grade 3 science class, the mixture of baking soda and vinegar causes a chemical reaction that releases carbon dioxide, which makes this cake rise in the oven, giving it that nice and floofy, moist texture, which will replace the egg in traditional cakes. And since this cake is egg-free, we can safely taste test some of the batter. Nom nom nom. Lightly grease an 8x8 inch pan with some vegetable oil and pour in that chocolate gold, making sure to get all the crevices. Trotting my way to my conventional oven, preheated to 350 Fahrenheit. I'll let it bake for 30 to 35 minutes. And as we wait for the chocolate cake to bake, I haven't done one of these in a while. Let's do a little snack break. I have some passion fruit, and I believe this is granulated passion fruit, which should be sweeter. And I haven't tried it yet, so it's gonna be a surprise for the both of us. Let me know in the comments below if you've ever tried a passion fruit. Ooh, beautiful. Look at that, gorgeous. If I can scoop it. Ooh, looks like little tadpoles, actually. First bites for you. Nom nom nom. Whoa, that is so sweet. The only passion fruit I've tried before was the one with the darker skin, and it's much more tart, but this is like sugar. Tastes sort of of like banana meets guava. The texture is sort of slimy and jello-like. You get those little crunches of the seeds. It feels like I'm on a tropical vacation right now. This was delicious. Now let's check on the cake. After that time is up, you know the drill. We gotta check it with the iconic toothpick method, making sure to prick the center, and if the toothpick isn't covered in chocolate, then it's good to go. Now frosting on this cake is totally optional, as there was no frosting on the Great Depression cake. I like to think that they would dust the cake with some powdered sugar on top, but since I have some butter and lactose-free milk, why not whip up a quick chocolate buttercream? And this will definitely elevate this cake. In a bowl, I'll whip some softened unsalted butter with an electric hand mixer on medium speed until light and fluffy. Should take around 2 minutes. On low speed, I'll whip in the powdered sugar, cocoa powder, splash of vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, and some milk. Adding in some more milk if necessary to get the desired consistency. Don't forget to scrape the sides and whip it again for a few minutes. Now that my frosting is super thick, all we gotta do is grab your cake pan with the chocolate cake still inside and slather that glorious frosting on top. And don't forget that the cake has to be cooled down completely before doing so. Otherwise, you'll end up with a chocolate pool, which actually doesn't sound too bad. Now I like to keep my cake frosted in the pan to give it that rustic sheet pan cake look. It also helps when storing leftovers in the fridge for later, if you have any. Now let's head to the taste test. Alright, so this is the finished product. And let's begin the taste test. And I'm super excited. Alright. Let's do a little choppy chop. Ooh, nice and moist. Look at that, gorgeous, just like you. All right, first bite's for you. Nom nom nom. This is so decadent. Once you take a bite, you get hit with that chocolate buttercream frosting coating the roof of your mouth. Then you chomp a little, and then you just get that spongy, delicious, fluffy chocolate cake. I really can't tell that this has no dairy and no egg. I've been craving chocolate cake, and this definitely fixes that craving. I really can't tell the difference between normal chocolate cake and this type of cake. Alright, so this gets LookCatchu's stamp of approval. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I post once a week. And I'll see you guys